current setup for making the stainless steel prongs for the oxyhydrogen generator. Basically, the idea of these is they will sit in between the layers of the anode, scouring pad anode, and I have to use stainless steel, unfortunately. It's one of the only metals that doesn't have an oxidizing layer in the process of electrolysis of water. I believe so, that is. I believe that stainless steel will eventually degrade in water and it will turn kind of murky and probably turn into a bunch of chemicals that you don't want to drink. The important part is that it's only oxygen and hydrogen coming out, so it's not making another kind of gas, it's not making anything else but oxygen and hydrogen. For the anode and cathode prongs, I have a wire wrapped around a giant knitting needle, and the idea is to solder this together and this little hole closed, and then slip a heat shrink over that so the water doesn't contact the copper or the solder. So yeah, we're going to apply a little bit of flux, and then we're going to get our solder ready, and then a soldering iron, wait for that to heat up to 325, and then simply we're going to get to work. Now, unfortunately for this process, it's using a lot of solder to join the wires together and to the stainless steel, and to close up that little stainless steel gap where you would usually put your sewing thread. We get a paper towel, and then we wipe down the excess flux, get some isopropyl alcohol, put it on a pad, and then just wipe it down. Make sure to get the top of the wire too. And then that should be good. Make sure not to drop it. And then this goes to wait to be attached to a heat shrink, and then those will be your anode and cathode rods. Here's what I have for the electrodes and cathodes. So the idea is you have two stainless steel scouring pads on the outside on these little nubs so they don't slip. I'm going to put the anode inside and the cathode on the outside. The anode, I think, is negative, and then the cathode is positive. The negative goes inside, the positive goes on the outside. How it works is it's like a mesh, basically. There's little holes all around the sides of this, allowing water to flow through, but the anode and cathode won't be able to touch because this mesh is separating them. It's actually quite thick. I think it's about like 4 to 3 millimeters thick, and I would say I have to print it, but it's already printed, and I already have the cathode on the outside of it. As you can see, it actually printed fairly well. None of the holes have any clogs. I mean, there's stringing between the holes, but I guess that's mechanically very useful because we don't want anything to pass through those little holes but the water and the electricity. So yeah, I'm going to get the rest of this set up. I have everything for the generator ready to be set up. Nothing else needs to be made or finished. Update on these little guys here. They've been completely epoxy and heat shrink shut on the connection points, so none of the brass or solder reacts in the electrolysis. All the wires and needles have been sterilized and cleaned. We have the generator, which the prongs connect to these two connections underneath so that we can apply electricity to them. I added a gas outlet, and I redid all of these seals here to the actual container because it was kind of leaking a little bit, but now it should be completely sealed off. We have all of the electronics, the pump, and the fan for the radiator ready to go. Everything is sealed. I added a new base plate so it wasn't wobbling around as much. Here's the actual electrolysis generator. It's completely covered in saran wrap right now because absolutely everything in this has been sterilized and degreased and everything. Basically everything here has been degreased and sterilized. This electrolyte solution, it's been mixed with 100% pure distilled water because apparently
tap water is bad for electrolysis generators. So I'll just get everything set up and yeah, we'll be ready to rock. Okay. Oh shit. Just a little rundown on what I'm doing for the electrolyte. Basically, I have a bunch of sodium bicarbonate dissolved into this solution at like room temperature. It'll dissolve as much sodium bicarbonate as possible, but then it will start to not dissolve it once it gets saturated enough, so it will settle down to the bottom, as you can see here. And then once that's all settled down in the bottom, I can pour it into the container, and then I'll do that same thing, and then I'm going to add another 200 milliliters of water. I'll actually probably just do another 800 to compensate for the air, because I don't want there to be too much in there that it's going to bubble up and go through the tube and whatnot. So yeah, this is settling out, and then I'm going to pour it in super slow so the sediment doesn't pour in with it. And then I'm going to do another 800, and then I'm going to add 200 milliliters of completely pure water just to lower that saturation content a little bit so we don't have any crystallization issues in the future or any other problems with the electrolyte coming out of a solution and reacting with whatever it wants to react with. Alright, and we repeat that one more time. Okay, last batch of this bicarbonate water. There's a hair in there. The fuck? Got it. No hair in my generator. Oh god damn it, one just went in. Where the fuck the hair where the hell did the hair come from? Alright, well, whatever. It shouldn't affect the performance too much. Okay. I think we're going to start with adding about 200 mils of water. See if that is enough. Yeah, I think that's perfect. The only thing to do left is to test the generator and the fan. So, let me plug it in, and okay. Look at that. It's working. I can feel the fan, and you can obviously see the water is flowing. Might be a little too fast, honestly, but that's okay. So the intake for the water is down here, and the outlet's up there. The reason the intake's down here is because that way it's not sucking up the bubbles that the generator is producing. I hope. We will see how that turns out very soon. Let's get the prongs and generator set up. Get this thing unwrapped. I did an alcohol wash in my gloves just to make sure there's absolutely no oil. Damn, I wrapped this thing good. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Final piece to our puzzle. Make sure everything's good. And now, we plug and play. Hopefully. Oh yeah. Does that not look like it makes an explosive gas? Because I think it does. And it goes. All right. Holy shit. There it is, folks. Practically complete generator. Shit. I might need to figure out a way to mount this a little better, because the generator's kind of leaning. I'll show you. The actual generator part is leaning, but it's okay. I also might need to adjust a prong or two, but I'll do that real quick post-process, and then I'll update you guys once I'm ready to turn it on. Everything is set up. All I need to do is connect this negative to here. There's our 6.07 test volts. This is the moment of truth. Well, here we go. Oh my God, it's working. It's drawing 13 amps. 12 amps. Holy shit. And minimal bubbling. What I like to see. Oh, right. So during the beginning of our oxyhydrogen process, the oxygen usually dissolves into the water first, so it needs to run for a couple of minutes in order to, properly mix. Oh, these prongs are ice cold. Very good. If this was hot, then I need to stop it. Very, very good. Let's test it now. Oh yeah. There it is. All right. Woo! I think that'll be it for now. I'll make a flashback arrestor for this. Definitely what I need to do. Look at that. Works basically flawlessly. Nice constant output. So I have some B-sides for you. I'll just turn this on and demonstrate. Basically what I'm doing is I'm making a flashback arrestor, but I made this little attachment at the end of this connection. It's going to go down in the bottom of it and it'll bubble up. And the reason why I did this is because there's actually little tiny holes in there. I don't know if you can see them, but they allow the gas to kind of come out in more of a foamy bubble instead of just a direct bubble. And I'm doing that because it looks good and I feel like it. But yeah, flashback arrestor is going to be glued like right there, and then you can attach whatever you need to there to get a direct flow line to the oxyhydrogen. And how you know you're producing way too much oxyhydrogen and you're maybe going over amperage is if water starts coming through this line. There should be no reason the flashback arrestor is producing so much gas that it is shooting water up the line. Absolutely no reason. So, yeah, everything here is completely air sealed. I mean, obviously there's the outlet, but other than the outlet, everything will be completely sealed. Everything that the oxyhydrogen is touching is completely sealed from the outside. There is no other way for the oxyhydrogen to go other than back through the tube, and that won't even be able to happen with this flashback arrestor. Also, the last one I made, I put a little too much leeway for that oxyhydrogen, and the fill line was like only about right here, so there was just that much oxyhydrogen, and as a result this top blew off. That's not going to happen this time. If a flashback ever occurs, it should be a lot smaller, a lot less loud, and usage with this should be no problem. So yeah, I'm gonna get this installed, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like when it is completely finished with the flashback arrestor. This is another extra piece. I've connected my torch to it. It's a very small torch, but there it is. It's fun. And then to put it out, you never turn it off. You want to dip it in a cold sponge until it stops. Alright, well, this is going to conclude this oxyhydrogen generator project. It is done. It's complete. Fully complete in all of its glory. I might add a power supply mount right there so this can lean up vertically on here. But we'll see. I might need to have some insulation because that power supply gets hot. Nonetheless, it's done and it's complete, and I'm very happy. Next up is probably going to be something explodey. So, well, we'll see. I don't want to get in trouble. Anyways, I might make one of Flasuiti's fun little oxyhydrogen toys in the future. Upgrade this slightly, not too much to have to worry about updating it, honestly. I'll just get around to making updates on it whenever I make another one of these videos. So, I'm gonna go edit this video, all these files, all these clips, and then I think I'm gonna go to bed. Until next time, stay crazy, or some shit, I don't know.